Hey there, it's Tracy Lynn from DeclutteringMinutes.com, back with another organizing inspiration video just for you. Okay, today we are going to talk about decluttering and organizing our winter gear. Hats, gloves, coats, scarves, snowboards, skis, boots, whatever it is that you use in the winter season. If you live in a place that has a winter season, I have some organizing tips for you. Now, if this is your first time joining me for an organizing inspiration video, you are going to love what you see. Basically, what I do is I scour the internet and I glean some of the amazing ideas that my fellow bloggers have, and I pull them all together in one slideshow. I'm a visual person, and when I can see how others do things, it really helps me to create a system that works specifically for me. So that is what I did for this slideshow, and I can't wait to show you all the treasures that I found. Okay, organizing inspiration specifically for your winter gear. Now, before we get started, you guys know the drill. You need to declutter what you have first. So how do we do this? Well, first, you need to walk your home. If you have an attic and you store things up there, if you have it spread all throughout your house, I want you to walk your home and gather up all the winter gear that you have. You want to take everything to one specific sorting area and make sure that that area has lots of room. A kitchen table would work really great for this. Actually, that is really the only area I want to suggest for this project, because most of you watching me right now have more than one person in your family, and the chairs around your kitchen table work perfectly for sorting out the winter gear for each person. The back of the chair, you can hang all the coats on the back, and the seat of the chair is perfect for putting hats, gloves, scarves. And then next to the chair on the floor is where all of the boots can go as well. So each chair is going to represent each family member. Don't you love that? Great sorting tip right there. And another thing that you want to do is pull out anything as you're sorting things out by family member. Pull out anything that you are questioning or even positive that you want to get rid of or have it leave your home. Just set it off to the side. We are going to sort through those items next. The first thing you want to do is sort out your family's items, keeping things you know for sure you want to stick around. Then you're going to go through each item in your donation pile. And if you're struggling to make that final decision on the item, I have a few guidelines for you to follow. First of all, do you use it? Does anybody in your family use it right now? If not, you can donate it or give it away. Does it fit? Maybe it's a child snowsuit and your child is the youngest and you're not going to have any more children and it does not fit them anymore. So definitely this is an item that can be donated or given away. Is it wearable? Does it have a tear? Does the zipper work? Are there stains on it that just can't be gotten rid of? If the answer is yes, do not donate it, toss it. Remember, when we're passing our items on for someone else to get second life out of them, we want to give the respect to that item and to the possible recipient by only donating things that are actually in good shape and usable. Okay. How about a few donation ideas? Sure, you could drop it off at the same donation center, but maybe you want to do something a little bit different. Let's remember, winter weather can be a struggle for those that are in need. And sometimes thinking outside of the box will allow you to spread your donations to further causes. So this could be a homeless shelter in your area, a battered women's center in your area, or a Big Brothers or Big Sisters organization in your area. All you need to do is call those places, ask them if they're accepting donations, and then ask the procedure for dropping those items off. What about giveaway ideas? Maybe you have some items like maybe a snowsuit that you absolutely love that you know you want to give away to someone because you're just not ready to donate it to a stranger. Maybe you have a family member that has a young child that snowsuit might fit. Or maybe you know new parents at your church that are struggling just a bit and you want to pass on some winter wear for their children. Or maybe there's an elderly neighbor and you have a grown-up item that no longer is needed in your family that is still in fantastic shape. Maybe you can pass that winter item on to them. Okay, before we get into organizing, I want you to stop. Make sure you put those donations and those giveaway items all the way away. I do not want you to relocate your clutter. We want to get it gone for good. Here's the thing. If you just relocate your clutter, you're going to have to re-declutter those items all over again because you're not going to remember the decisions you made and why. Make sure you take things to the final step, or at least the almost final step, so that you know you never have to remake those decisions on those items ever again. Deciding what to keep and what to give away, that's exhausting, especially if you're new to decluttering and organizing. So I want to make this as easy on you as possible. Make the decision once and be confident in the decision that you made. So all the way away, what does that mean when it comes to our clutter? Well, if it's a donation and you put those items in a box, I want you to close that box up, make sure there's no return address label on there for your home, and walk it to the back of your car. If you put it in a bag, tie that bag up and walk it to the back of your car. Then next time you're out going to work, going to a visit to a friend's house, running errands, I want you to stop at a drop-off center or the donation center you chose for these items and drop those items off. No stress needed. The decision's been made. You're confident in your decision. You can now put those items all the way away. Okay, what if you have giveaway items? How do we do those all the way away? Well, the first thing you always want to do before you give your items to a new owner is to ask for permission. We are not passing our clutter onto someone else to have to deal with, taking away the guilt on our end. We want to make sure they are open to receiving those items. And if they confirm that they are, you can by all means take those items and drop them off at your house. Once you confirm, I want you to take a Post-it note and a black magic marker. I want you to write who the items are for, put each in their own plastic shopping bag, tie it shut, tape that Post-it note onto the front. So when you are out running errands, you remember who gets what and what goes where. Okay. Once you have the donations and the giveaway items gone from your sorting area, aka the kitchen table, we are going to do an initial sort. Now, you can either keep things sorted out as you have them by family member, or you can sort them by item. And if you're not exactly sure which way you want to go, once you watch the organizing suggestions I have coming up next, you can then come back and make that final decision as to how you want to do it, either organized by family member or organized by item. And that's basically going to depend on the size of your family. So for example, myself and my husband, we're empty nesters, so we can house all of our items together. I know exactly which items are mine, and he knows exactly which items are his. Now, when our boys lived at home, my husband wanted things sorted by the owner of the item because the kids would constantly take his things and then return them soaking wet or not at all. So we had to come up with a system that made sure that everybody's things were respected and left alone except for the owner when they wanted to use it. So look at all the aspects, look at your organizing solution that you have ready to tackle, and then choose which way you want to keep things sorted out in that space. Okay, let's tackle gloves, hats, and scarves. Now, when I was searching the internet looking for ideas, this one came up probably 80% of the time. It was the over-the-door hanging organizers. They had cloth ones, they had plastic ones, they had all different sizes. And I can see why this is such a popular option because it really does keep things streamlined. Now, if you have several family members, you can make each row for each family member. So the top one could be your row, and you would have your gloves, your hat, and your scarves in your own row. See how that works out and how easy it is? And you can give each person their own row, letting the youngest and the shortest have the bottom rows, and the oldest and the tallest, the top rows. This is from mycreativedays.porch.com. And the magic about these organizers is they really do hold more than you think. And these organizers come in all different sizes. I've seen them span the full length of the organizer and then have 3 pouches in the length and have 5 pouches in the length. So be careful if you decide to go this route that you're choosing an organizer that will hold all the items that you need it to. Now, if you get a big organizer, you can keep everything in that one area. So say it's just one holder in that width size row. You could put the hat, the gloves, and the scarves in that holder. So again, this is all going to come back to what makes sense to you and your family and what is going to be the easiest for everyone to keep up with. And this image is from mylifeandkids.com. If you have double doors, I encourage you to take advantage of both sides. This is really going to give you the most storage real estate for the space that you have. So you can hang a door organizer on each side and really open up so much room for you to put your things. This is the nopressurelife.com. What if you're worried about wet gear getting in those plastic organizers and getting mildewy and smelly? Here's a plan B for you. These are rods that are held up by command hooks, and then they use the rings with the clips on them. I use these rings all the time. I actually have some right here, my extra ones. They're curtain rod rings. So they're a ring, and then there's a clip on the bottom that will hold anything. It's very durable, even more so than a clothespin. It's very, very durable. And you could put this on a rod, just about any size. You see how much room there is, lots of room. And it slides very easily, and it will hold more than one pair of gloves, even if they're heavy gloves, and not risk the integrity of the hook. So these are great to have. If you want to purchase them, they sell them at any department store, hardware store in the curtain area where the curtain rods are. And this image is from 221.net. Now, you can also use this same clip idea for 2 different types of items. So you can see up high, they have their hats and gloves and those neck warmers. And down low, they have the long winter scarves. So if you have a large collection of winter scarves, you may want to put a second rod down below. Now, they're not using the clips on the rod below, but instead just hanging them over the rod itself. And if you're concerned about the command hooks holding up the rod, you can install a towel bar that you would in a bathroom onto the door. I do want to caution you that you need to make sure that your door is the type that can withstand those screws and that towel bar, and it's not going to hurt the integrity of the door. And this image is from waysidesacraments.blogspot.com. Some of these names are huge. Okay. What if you don't have a closet? I know quite a few of my Declutter Minutes members do not actually have a closet dedicated to winter gear. Well, I have a few options for you, and this is the first one I want to show. You can hang it right on the wall. If you have a mudroom or an entryway, or maybe hang it in your garage next to the door, you can hang one of these rods, again, using these clips, and hang all of the gloves and scarves and hats right outside the door. This is from lifesaverorganizing.ca. And if you don't have a lot of gear, maybe you live in a place where winter is just a chilly time in the year and it's just a couple months long, you might want to opt for these organizing bins, and you could put each family member's name on the outside of the container, keeping their things sorted by person. Now, even if you do live in an area like I do, where winter seems to be longer than summer, then this is a great idea to keep in mind for when you take the gear and store it away during the off season. Even though we have a long cold season, I still like to get my winter gear out of my front closet because it's very small and put it away in my attic. And this is a great way to keep things sorted by person. And this is from AskAnnaMosley.com. Finally, baskets. My favorite thing to organize with are baskets. They work in every single organizing situation you might be in. Now, this is great for those items that are a little bit tricky to use hooks and hangers for. So that would be, that would be umbrellas like you see in this image, or earmuffs or maybe mittens, or you could do a basket for each family member if you do not have a door or a wall that you are able to utilize for storage. And this is from marthastewart.com. And thank goodness for Martha, because I got a lot of closet ideas for her. It must be tricky to organize winter gear because I really struggled to find unique and different ways to organize things. But thanks to Martha, she came up with some great things. So this image, I want to make sure I give credit to jamesransom.com or jamesransom.com. Now, always remember to keep it simple, especially if you have children. And I know you're looking at this shelf and you're going, okay, that's not winter gear. No, it's not. However, it is a great idea, number one, if you don't have a closet. And number two, if you're looking for the absolute easiest way to organize winter gear. Each of these bins, and they sell them at Walmart, and I want to say they're between $5 and $6 each. They're very flexible and easy and very lightweight and extremely durable. I think they're made out of a plastic/rubber material. So I really want to make sure that I include this. And those stickers are chalkboard adhesive labels that you stick on, and then you can change the labels as many times as you need to. So let's pretend there's no labels on these bins. We can put Joey's winter gear on the one and Susie's winter gear on the other. And you can have their hats and gloves and scarves and mittens and earmuffs and neck warmers, all the things that they need. And then in the off season, you can fold up their snowsuits, their winter coats, put them on top, and then cover everything with an elastic lid so nothing gets inside of there. And I'm just talking the elastic. They're like a shower cap, but they're thicker plastic. You can find those on Amazon.com. I will try to leave links to all of the items I refer in the comments below. But those adhesive lids really do help so bugs and spiders can't get inside of those bins. And then you can take them and store them on a shelf in either a basement or an attic or an other storage area. Then, if you don't have a closet, you can consider putting a shelving unit up like this. And that gives you 6, 2 on each shelf, areas and ways to organize all the things. So if it's just you and your husband, the top one could be winter coats. And the one next to it can be outside working winter wear. And the one below can be hats. And the one next to it can be gloves and scarves. And the one on the left can be winter boots. And the one on the right can be winter galoshes. And you can get all of your stuff organized on a shelving unit without it being a difficult and hard to create system. This image I found on countryliving.com, and the photo is by Musha Girl. Okay, let's talk about coats, vests, and snowsuits. I love this idea because it allows you to use a closet to hang up items the old school way, yet keep things streamlined so that your family members can find their items quickly. That is, after all, the goal of an organized space. So you can find the things that you need quickly, but almost more importantly, put everything away just as quickly. So these hangers are color coordinated. They just used a piece of ribbon. Everyone has their own color. You can have as many colors as you need. My suggestion is, if you decide to go this route, to make the colors completely distinguishable, because in this image, you have 2 coats in the middle that are blue and 2 coats on the right that are green. And that to me is just too close to a color that it might be a little bit tricky for younger family members. So I would do orange, I would do blue, I would do white, and I would do black, and I would do red. Stick with the primary colors that really are a big difference. They don't have to be side by side. That's the magic of these colors. They can be any way in there. You don't have to ask your family to do an intricate organizing system. Just give them a color, stick it on the hanger, put the hanger in the closet, and you are good to go. This is from marthastewart.com, and the image is from James Ransom. Use different organizers to create a streamlined space. I really love this closet. This might be one of my favorites out of the entire slideshow because they used a whole bunch of different organizing ideas to create a super streamlined space. So they've got the baskets at the top, and it's hard to see in this picture, but one basket says scarves, one basket says winter hats, and one basket says gloves, and I can't remember what the other basket says. Then they have the winter coats hanging in the main closet. And as you can see, they're color coordinated for each family member. Then they have a door organizing system that is purchased as a kit, and you can buy them at Home Depot or Lowe's, or I believe Amazon has them as well. And they have baseball hats at the top. It's very durable, so it's strong enough to hold a backpack with items in it. Then they have baskets down at the bottom that will hold smaller things that are used either by younger family members or more frequently throughout the day. Remember, when you're creating an organized system, to keep in mind the real estate. If it's up high, it should be for items you don't use daily. If it's down low or in your real estate space from forehead to waist, it should be items that get used daily or most frequently throughout the week. So it's easy for you to get your things. This organizing idea image is from the homesIhavemade.com. Keep hooks family friendly. This is super important if you have littles in your family. So you can see there's bins on the top, but there's also an organizer down at the bottom, and there's hooks that are child level friendly on the inside of that door. And I think it is important to remember that you create a system that will work for everybody in your family, because if you set up a system that is only going to make sense and work for you, you are going to be the one that is putting things away over and over and over again. So if you can make a system that your youngest children can utilize and your oldest spouse can utilize and everybody in between, then this organized area is going to stay just that: organized, streamlined, and put away. And this is again from Martha Stewart, and our friend James Ransom took the image. Remember to take full advantage of all the room that you have. This is another one of those door purchased organizers, but I wanted to also point out the command hooks on the inside of the closet to hang an umbrella. I love this, and it is super important to point that out because it is really utilizing all the space inside of the closet. Now, what you organize is going to depend on where you live and the items that you have and the size of your family. But there are no rules, guys. It's your home. So you get to make all the organizing rules. And if you want to keep 3 umbrellas, 4 umbrellas, then make sure you have a way to organize them. If you have the room and you can set up a streamlined way to keep things put away all the way away, then you absolutely can keep all the things that you want and need. And this image is from marthastewart.com, and this photo is courtesy of the Container Store. Okay, so let's move on to shoes and boots and see what storage ideas we can come up with there. The first one is from Martha Stewart. Now, I'm not a fan of this because I think it is going to be a big headache to clean. However, I do know a lot of people that love, love, love it, especially when you live in a snowy area. So you just take a deep-sided boot tray, and you can find them anywhere of all shapes and sizes, and then purchase stone rock or pebbles. You don't want small. They need to be relatively big, about the size of a nickel to the size of a $50. Put that inside, and then once you take your shoes off, you can set them on there, and all the snow drips down underneath. Here's where I kind of question this idea is if you live in a heavy winter area and your shoes have a lot of snow on them, this is going to fill up, and then it's going to be just a bit tricky to get the liquid out of there without spilling it all over your mudroom. Just something to keep in mind if this is an option that you're considering using. You could also reuse what you already have, which you know I absolutely love. This is from inferentlycreative.net. And these are those wooden crates. Tons of people have them. I have a bunch of them up in my attic. But what a great way to store shoes and keep them out of the way. If you love the rustic look, this is a great idea that you might want to incorporate in your own home. Now, he walks through exactly how to screw them all together so it's one piece, because if you do not connect them, they will not be stable. And as you're taking boots in and out routinely, you do risk knocking things over. So I do suggest that you connect them together, but I also love that he put wheels on the bottom so it can be moved out, swept behind, because you're going to get mess from those boots falling through the slats. So you want to make sure it is easy for you to clean. So you can pull it out, sweep or vacuum behind, and push it right back in. Super easy. You can also purchase a 2-tier boot storage system to save space. This you can find at bedbathandbeyond.com. And this is for anyone that just doesn't have the patience, the skills, or the time to DIY a boot organizer. This is a great and affordable way to get more room out of the space that you have. They've got a drop down in each of those storage areas. So any dirt, water, or debris is going to fall inside of those trays, and it gives you double duty. So you have down below, up above. And as you can see, there's enough room for the higher rubber boots so that you know you can fit quite a bit in there. What if you have wet boots or wet shoes? I love this idea. I think this is genius. And if my kids were little, I would totally be using this in my own home. PVC pipe that you attach into pre-drilled holes into a wooden slab. And you can even use wooden posts that you can see on the right-hand side or PVC pipe on the left. And you could just put the boots on upside down. I would set that wooden stand inside of a boot tray so that if any debris or snow or liquid melts off, it doesn't land on your mudroom floor. But this is super great if you have kids that like to play in the snow. Their stuff gets soaked, right? So you could put a couple boots on some and put gloves and hats on the others. If you have a big family, you can make 4 or 5 of these and put the child's name on the front. That way they each have their own dryer, and it's their responsibility to make sure that their items get on there so they can start to dry out and they're ready to wear the next time they go outside. Okay, let's talk about winter gear. DIY ski and snowboard stand. This is a bit tricky, so I wanted to make sure I added the URL so that you can go get the step-by-step instructions. Now, they really do step it out into small steps. I even think that I could put this one together, but it looks a bit complicated in the image. This is instructables.com/ski-rack-from-2x4-plywood/. So write that down and put that in your URL and click search. And then that way you can get the instructions for this project. But it looked really simple. It can hold skis, the poles, and you can adjust the size so that you can put a snowboard or not put any of the dividers in and raise another level onto it. And you could put sleds in there as well. It's pretty customizable and a great way to keep that snow gear contained, because it really is awkward, right? The skis or the snowboards, all my kids either skied or snowboard. So we had a lot of equipment and it's super expensive. So you want to make sure that you have things stored in a way that is going to allow you to keep the integrity of the item so things don't get damaged or worn down quicker than you would like them to. Remember, what works to organize yard tools is going to work for skis and snowboards. So if you have an organizer in your garage where you put your brooms and your rakes and your hose and other items that you tend to not need the entire winter, you can replace those items with the skis and the poles and the snowshoes and any other outdoor gear that you have. This was something that you can buy at Etsy.com, but you can also make these as well. And all you have to do is Google wall organizer for yard tools. That is going to give you the instructions that you need for this specific project. Not into DIY, guys, you can purchase an organizing system that is done for you specifically for your outdoor gear. This is from bootdryer.com. This is not cheap. But like I said, these snowboards and skis can be anywhere from $3,000, $4,000, $1,000. So you do want to make sure you have things stored in a way that's going to keep them from getting scuffed, scratched, or damaged. So maybe investing in a system such as this might be what you want to do to make sure that things last more than one season. Small closet or no closet? No problem. I have just a couple ideas that are going to help you out with that situation. Small closet. This is the size of our closet, and we had a family of 6. A family of 6. I wish I had seen this when my kids were home, because this is utilizing all of the space inside of the closet, talking about most of the things that we did in the previous slides. The only thing that's added in are the plastic bins down at the bottom, and you can use those for gloves, for hats, for scarves, for earmuffs, for all of those extra winter gear can go down at the bottom. They've got the great big door organizer. This one is cloth. They've got all the winter coats hung inside, and then they have baskets on the top shelf. there is room to put a second shelf above those baskets and even give more storage space to a small closet. This is from blueeyestyleblog.com. And this is just a really great solution for a small closet that needs to hold a lot of gear. If you don't have a closet, you guys, you can create a coat wall. This is genius. Now, maybe you guys all knew this idea was out there. I never even thought to create a wall in my entryway that I could turn into a coat wall. I think it's brilliant. So you can buy this at Etsy or at Amazon, but you can also make one of these as well. You could put a wooden shelf up, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many bins you need to put on it, and you can stack them up, put the bins on, label each one, gloves, scarves, hats, earmuffs, mittens, whatever it is. And again, go as high and as wide as you need to go. Make sure your labels are clear so everybody knows what's inside. And then down below that, a heavy duty rod for on the wall. Now, this is an industrial style, but you can use a curtain rod. You can use a shower rod. You can use any kind of rod that will fit on a wall and hold the weight of all your coats. Now, they used hooks, which I don't recommend. It's going to destroy your coats, but you can use hangers and the small skinny hangers, or you can use the thicker, wide hangled hook. What do you call those hooks that go like this? So they go on the shoulders of the coats to keep everything intact. Put a bench down at the bottom, put one of those boot trays next to it, a couple baskets under the bench if you need more storage. Just like that, you have a closet without a closet. You can also do it out in your garage. So this is a shelf with hooks. You can hang the coats on using the tag inside. You can hang your coats on the shelf. They built a bench down below using scrap wood. This is from liferenewed.com. They were able to customize the interior to make sure it held the size boots that they needed. Or you could just have a sitting bench like this one and put baskets down underneath. Whatever works for you in the amount of gear that you have. Find a wall where you can turn it into a closet. It does not have to have a door. I'm showing you proof that it doesn't. And then make sure you use all the real estate from floor to ceiling. If you're concerned that a closet is not going to match the style of the home, or it's going to make it look ugly, or it's going to make it look cluttered, this last image that I have for you is going to solve all of those problems. This was just a plain wall when they started, like above, and they put in that wall paneling to make it look like it's meant to be there and it's part of the space. And then the shelf above, they put pictures on, but you can put baskets on the shelves above to give you even more storage. Guys, this is beautiful, don't you think? It works out so well. The hooks match the room. The wall matches the door. It looks like a work of art. And you know how I like organizers that double as wall art. And that's exactly what this is. And this is from thesavvysparrow.com. I encourage you to go check out her DIY on exactly how they did this. And that is all I have for you today. So let me scoot out and jump right back in. And thank you for being with me for this organizing inspiration slideshow. I hope you found some great ideas that you can incorporate in your home that will help you keep your winter gear streamlined and organized. I know I found some really great ideas that I'm going to incorporate in our own home. Take care, happy decluttering, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.